Hello everyone, this is Jimmy and welcome to episode 19 of FTB Interactions. I would like to do stuff with star metal ore today and its corresponding products, star metal dust and star metal ingots. However, I've noticed we have run out of rutile. Rutile is the precursor to titanium. I have one piece of ore and I only managed to make like 83 ingots of titanium. So let's do something about that. I looked at the sources of rutile ore, and the first planet it generates on is Euclides Prime. So we have to get to this quest to do that. I don't think that's impossibly difficult, but it requires a few challenging steps. We need a space station, we need to do some fancy stuff with the space station, and then we need to make a Draconic Evolution fusion reactor in order to make the artifact. Now, this requires stellar alloy, which I guess I have stellar alloy, and resonating gems, which I can make now. Hot demon eye, what is this? Oh, we need demonic will. Okay, that's not too bad. Now, the quest line here says you have to go through this entire process with like Mark of the Falling Tower, improved Ender Eyes to make the fusion cores. I can just go loot draconic cores from moon dungeons. So I already have one, and I need 8 more. So we need a total of 1 plus 8, 9 draconic cores. How many do I have? I have 7, so it won't be that hard to get like another 2. It's probably 1 more dungeon. The alternative is to process ores for rutile. It electrolyzes, you get 2 per 39 bauxite, which is what, basically 1 per 20. Once you account for, rounding error. The other way I think is to get it as a byproduct of macerating something. I think it's purified bauxite ore. It gives it's an LV recipe, so doing it at HV is 2 tiers up. So that's 14 plus 19, 33%? 1 in 3? That's much better than 1 in 20, right? I guess since bauxite's easy to get, let's not skip a bunch of progression to go to No, I think it'd be fun to go to Euclides Prime. Let's throw this star metal thing out the window and go to Euclides Prime today. Well, it wouldn't be a interactions episode without running into some problem. So it turns out that the warp core, which is needed to take your space station to Euclides Prime, requires 15 titanium blocks. That's a lot more titanium than we have, so we're back on making titanium. Which we were going to Euclides Prime to make easier, by the way. So we have to do some other method. For now, my plan is to take crushed bauxite ore, wash it quickly, which turns it into purified bauxite, which then macerates, as I said, with a 1 in 3 chance for rutile dust. And then we can take this rutile dust, put it in here, or let the system automatically put it in here, and it will turn it into titanium for us. A little slowly, but that's alright. While that crafts titanium, I'll go start making the fusion core. Must have had some real beginner's luck last episode when I was looting these draconic cores. It took me 2 dungeons to get 6 or 7 of them last time, right? I did these 2 or something, and I've since done 4 more, and just on the very last chest of the 4th dungeon, I got my 2nd draconic core. I did get these draconium chests though, which are very nice. They're huge. They have a cooking slot, which I believe cooks pretty fast too. Let's get some cobble and try it out. Oopsies. It might need power though. Let's see. Can it cook without power? It doesn't look like it. Let's give it some power. From the Spectre coil. There we go. And I guess it doesn't smelt that fast. But it does smell all the slots at once, or... Oh, it smells 5 items in each slot at once. Insert a wyvern or higher tier crew. Oh, cool. Anyways, this is just an absolutely massive chest. And I believe it also stacks its inventory much higher. Let's see. Let me put a bunch of stacks of something in there. Nope, just kidding, I lied. I guess it still only stacks to 64. Maybe you can upgrade it? I'm not sure. But it has a lot of options. Anyways, I'm just happy I got my draconic cores. I wonder, do these retain their inventories? It appears they do, which is pretty neat too. Oopsies, that's a different one. Oh, I guess they retain their energy too. So once you place them down, they never stack again either. Alright, that's cool. Using our looted draconic cores then, we can make the fusion crafting core. Now, normally fusion crafting has multiple tiers. However, in this pack, there are only chaotic tier injectors. So we can directly start at chaotic tier. This requires a HV assembler, 6 minutes apparently, and some crystal mate. Ooh, we need to get a bunch of nether stars. Alright, so I need 8 injectors. So 16 nether stars? Alright, well, I guess we have to come up with a way to get nether stars. I suspect the easiest way to get wither skeleton skulls is from the pristine matter here. It requires our alchemical imbuer, although we've already made it. We just have to switch it from using what's currently, it's water, right? Yeah, water and experience. I should refill the experience. And we could have to switch it over to unstable mana, I believe it was, an experience. So for starters, let me go train up a wither skeleton data model. These are the last 2 buckets of unstable mana from the batch I crafted earlier, and crafting more is kind of a billion steps. So this is definitely something I'll want to automate at some point, but for now 2 buckets handles 20 pristine matter, so I think that's okay. And each one makes like 18 skulls. So pretty soon we should have wither skeleton skulls popping out. For now, I don't have a great way of automating their killing them. I think I'll just use a shield projector combined with hitting them by hand and the nether ceiling to kill them. I need to do what? It was 8, so 16 withers? That's not too many to do by hand. So it's quite loud here in my wither factory. Even with a sound muffler down, it's quite loud. But my plan is I just shoot them with my bow, and then once they reach melee or the range immune point, I just let them die of suffocation damage. Or maybe I'll help them out with my sword at some point. But every time you hit them with their sword, you get knockback, so it's really annoying to try to... Well, there, we got one. But yeah, it's manual, it's not the fastest, and it's extremely cheesy. But we're killing withers here. This is remarkable. I've never fought so many withers at once before. I've had to completely mute my game sounds because even with the sound muffler, it is incredibly loud. But yeah, there's like 10 withers spread out around me, I think. Fun stuff. Alright, we got 21 nether stars, bunch of skulls left. I'll use them later. In fact, I'll probably set up an automated system. Well, once we do some blood magic, I can set up an automated system that actually kills the withers instantly, instead of making me sit there and, you know, wait for them to suffocate, practically. But 21 nether stars is enough for what we're doing now. We got some infinity boosters as well, which, I mean, I guess will eventually be nice. We can make our crystal matrices now in a blast furnace. All of those crystal matrix ingots take, what, like 5 minutes each, 4 minutes each? So while those craft, it's going to take, I need 16, that's an hour of crafting, jeez. I could accelerate the machine a bit, but while that crafts, let's build our space station because we'll need one as well. So I'm going to build it on the same pad that I built my rocket on, but that means I need my rocket to not be here. So we're going to send a rocket to the moon. See a rocket? It'll fly there, land on its own, hopefully, probably. The space station we build then, I guess I only brought the components for the warp part of it, but it needs a station, like just any blocks to make what vaguely resembles a space station, and we'll send our warp controller up with it. You can also like send up a single block and then build in space, which is not unreasonable. But for now, let me just build something that vaguely resembles a station. Ta-da! Now you might be thinking, Jimmy, that's a slab of cobblestone. And you would be 100% right. I'm turning my slab of cobblestone into a space station. So, you need to put a satellite bay and a space station ID chip in, and then you hit the build button, and you get a filled satellite bay or a space station container and the ID chip. Don't lose this ID chip. You'll be very sad if you do. Now, we need our rocket back because our rocket is what actually launches the station. So, let's teleport to the moon and fly our rocket back. Uh-oh. I guess our rocket's not here yet. It's probably just... Oh yeah, because I didn't chunk load this chunk, did I? So it's probably on its way down. I'll fly up and meet it. I mean, I guess I need it to land so I can ride it back. Yeah, here it is. See? It's on its way. Whoosh. I'm faster than it. Alright, so I could launch it from here, but if I launch my space station from here, it's in orbit around the moon. And I don't want it. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter where it's in orbit around, huh? Sure, we'll start it in orbit around the moon then. I guess. No, I'm gonna fly the rocket to the overworld first. With our rocket back, let's load it up to get it ready to launch our space station. So if we go into the satellite bay, we can crash the game. Be right back. Alright, after crashing the game once, you can go into the satellite bay and place your space station container in there. Then you just have to do a launch. It can go anywhere, so I'm just going to have it launch from here to here. And as a result, when it's in space, it will deploy the space station and come back. So I'm going to ride on it in case it chooses to land on the space station, but I'm reasonably sure it won't do that. I think. Let's find out. Yeah, it worked just like I thought. We went up, and then we came right back down. But now we should, this might crash my game again. Okay, we don't have a satellite left in our, or we don't have a space station left in our satellite bay. So, once we land, we can, I want it to switch its destination from the planet to our space station. So put our space station ID chip in there, and then we can select destination. I guess we don't need to select a destination. There's only a space station, right? Destination station 1. Let's let our rocket fuel up. If you link your fueling station to the rocket assembly machine, it'll automatically fuel the rocket on the pad. So you don't have, if you link the station to the rocket itself, you have to relink it after every launch. Anyways, time to launch again. Highly reusable rockets here. No components are expended. And we made it to our space station, which also completes a couple quests for us, I guess. A couple ender chests, a thingamajig. The next quest is to go to make the Euclides Prime artifact. Alright. Grab some of that from a dungeon, I guess. And what's in here for me? That was also a dungeon loot. Alright. Cool. So when we descend, we should eventually land on our space station. And by space station, I mean cobblestone platform. You can kind of see it on the map there. I'll be very sad if we miss it. And we're here. Unfortunately, due to budget cuts, our space station doesn't even get walls. But we can expand them manually. So let me get a bit more cobblestone and we can make our platform here a little bit bigger. That'll do. Next, we should build let's set up our matter receiver here. Anywhere will do. Put it out of the way. Optionally give it power. You can teleport to unpowered matter receivers. It just gives you it hurts you a bit, but no sense not powering it. So space station, we're linked to it, and we can whoosh to come back here without using a rocket in the future. Now let's build our warp drive thing. So that's what all this titanium here is for. Ooh, low gravity. And we can assemble it. Or not. Oh, I guess it... Does it have to... I might have to chisel our titanium into the other type of it. Let's see. Right, because that was definitely a titanium block there. Yeah, okay. Let me chisel all our titanium over. Whoops. No chisel necessary. Just craft between the two. Let's try that again. There we go. One warp structure. To fuel it, you give it dilithium. This is made from that dilithium dust that I made with fluorine. Maybe you can get dilithium more later, I'm not sure. But you put your fuel in, and this thing does its thing. Now to control it, you need a warp controller. The warp controller can be anywhere on your space station. And does it need power? Doesn't look like it. Alright, so now you just have to tell it where to go. So, I assume we can go to Nova apparently. But I assume we can't go to other systems. Oh, wait. Huh, what do we know here? Stellar? Oh, we can go to Euclides Prime. Is that a bug? Let me see. Based on my reading of some of these texts, or some of these quest texts, it's like you will need to craft the artifact. And there's the other quest up here. you'll need a warp controller and the artifact. I believe that the planet is not supposed to be discovered at first. You're supposed to go through the planet discovery system, the planet tracking, with your artifact to find it. So I'm going to go ahead and say that the fact that I can select it is a bug, and I'm going to pretend like I can't do so until I've done the discovery system, because if I'm right, then I expect this will be patched relatively shortly, at which point then anyone who's following along will have to go through all these steps. So I'm going to show you these steps. So we're going to pretend that we do not see these systems here, because I think this one is, yeah, that's Aurelia, the next system. So we're going to pretend like we have to discover these systems the normal way. Apparently opening up the guidance computer UI also has like a 50% chance to crash a game. So I'm on like my 6th try to open it. I need to swap that chip out for the planet ID chip that's in there, or the space station ID chip. I need to swap it out with the planet ID chip so that I can... Oh, I didn't even... doing worse and worse every time. But yeah, I need to fly my rocket back to the Void World because I need this rocket to launch some satellites. Aha! I did it. I managed to get my planet ID chip into here. Alright, flying the rocket back. So I can teleport back here in the future when I need to use this station to warp away. Don't use the /home command while you're riding your rocket. You take the rocket with you. Now my rocket's here. I think in order for me to get it back, I have to now disassemble it, which turns it into a collection of parts again, and then I can physically move it as, you know, just a collection of blocks back to the Void World. Whoops. In order to discover planets and systems, and just to discover, like, stuff to quarry, stuff to mine, which includes Skystone, you'll have to launch satellites. So even disregarding the discovery of Euclides Prime, this is a necessary step. Now, the satellite builder is a multi-block. I don't know why. The only other component is a power input. Like, why can't the satellite... Whatever. It's also a very weird UI. You can't shift right-click into it. It'll put any item into any slot. So you have to put a satellite into this slot, an empty satellite chassis. Once you put it in, it gets assigned an ID. A ID chip into that slot. Leave that one blank. Data storage units into the I/O slots. Technically, only one is needed, but it's better to have all three. One of these 3 sensors, optical, composition, or mass, in the... I don't even know what that is. The trophy slot. And I think you need solar panels, but I think just a single solar panel will suffice. I'm not 100% sure on solar panels. You might not need any at all. But they're not expensive. Anyways, then you hit build, and it does a thing, and it spits out a satellite. Just a satellite. And it programs your ID chip. You don't want to lose your ID chip. So, do the same thing with your other sensors. And once you have all 3 satellites built, we can launch them. You can only launch 1 satellite per satellite bay on your rocket. So to do all 3 at once, you'll need 3 satellite bays. Put 1 in each. Yeah, it didn't crash yet. Oh, I guess it's because I haven't built the rocket yet, huh? So I guess as long as you haven't built the rocket yet, it won't crash on you when you... I see. Anyways, we'll want to put a planet ID chip in the guidance computer. We just want this rocket to go up and come back down. And I think that's it. So let's fuel our rocket. Well, let's build our rocket first. I did add more weight to it, so it's conceivable that this rocket... Wait, build... Oh no, it's scanning. It's conceivable that this rocket is no longer valid. But no, this looks good to me. Build? Wait, not enough fuel capacity. I think it means not enough fuel capacity to go there and come back. You know what? Let's just add another fuel tank, whatever. Oh, I guess it won't even build. Okay. Alright, I added a fuel tank, and we are now above the line on everything. So, build. Alright, now our rocket's formed. I think, yeah, the fueling station is still linked to the rocket assembly machine, so I guess it is fueling up. Once it's fueled up, we can do a launch, and it will deploy our satellites. Oopsies, looks like we've run out of fuel here. Good news is I think I have plenty of fuel in the in our main base. So let's go check that out. Let's see, it would be this way. Oh yeah, we have over 700 buckets of rocket fuel. I think our limiting factor here is our hydrogen production, but I could probably turn this off at this point. 700 buckets of rocket fuel may as well be infinite when we consume, what, like 4 buckets a launch on average? 8 buckets for a round trip? Oh well. Alright, we're basically fully fueled, so let's launch. I don't need to go up with it. All the, well, let's abort this real quick. Let me double check to make sure, yeah, our satellites are in here. So, I don't need to go up with it. It'll go up, deploy the satellites, and land back here. In the meantime, then, I'll set up our ground station, which is what receives the information from the satellites. So we need satellite terminals, 1 per satellite. Technically, a single satellite terminal will do, but then you put your satellite ID chip into each terminal. They won't work yet because the satellites haven't been deployed, but once the satellites are deployed, they'll generate data matching the type of sensor on them, and we need some of each type of data. But now I think our satellites are launched, so yep, if you hit connect, it will be able to pull distance or pull data down from each satellite. So connect all 3 of these. Now the satellite, when they launched, I think they're not supposed to have data when they launch, but they do. So not 100% sure if that's a bug, but I'm going to take advantage of that one. What that means is you can put a data storage unit here and let's see, store to chip. And you store 1,000 data from the satellite onto the chip. Likewise, do that with each of these. 1, 2, 3. And you have 3 data storage units, one with distance, mass, and composition. You can use this in your observatory to find meteors, or not meteors, asteroids, that's a word, to find asteroids to mine, but we're going to get around to that later. For now, we're going to use this data to find Euclides Prime, or to quote-unquote find it, because we already know where it is. But before we can do that, we need to make the artifact. And welcome back, Rocket. So let's head back to our base and see if our crafting is done for those ingots here. And 16, haha. So that should mean we can make our chaotic fusion injectors now, right? I think I just have to melt down some stuff here. 4 pearls per, sure. So crystal matrix ingots, draconic cores, machine casings. This starts the process of crafting fusion injectors at 6 minutes each. So we have 6 minutes times 8, 48 minutes to kill. Thankfully we have a time in a bottle, so it'll be a bit less than that. To make this process run a little bit faster, I added 4 more diesel generators. So I think now I can overclock it. I can time in a bottle it 4 times. If I hit it 1 more time, it draws more power than we can generate. But that should take like the 5 minutes down to, I don't know, about 1 minute each. That's much better. I figured instead of just waiting for the crafting, let's go do something useful. So this recipe uses resonating gems, which have to be made on our terrestrial amalgamation plate. We have all the materials, however, we can't make the plate yet. This requires, let's see, terrasteel's easy, lapis, flawless lapis is easy, right? I can just sift for it. Yeah, 4%. However, the challenge here is this raw demon eye, which takes, we go down the rabbit hole a little bit, raw demon will crystal. I wonder, is it easier to get it from tungsten dust? I only need 1 piece, so I can either set up the entire process to make demon will crystals, or I can get this quest reward. To get this quest reward, I need to somehow get tungstate or scheelite ore. Can I do this without going to the end? Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it, so I cannot complete this quest yet. Which means I don't get the easy way of making demonic will. Oh well. Let's go do the regular way. The process of automating the production of demonic will can take an episode all on its own. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to set up a more simple system that just produces it very inefficiently and manually. You need a demon crucible, and you place into it a tartaric gem that has some will into it. What it will do is it will release that will into the atmosphere. And in fact, let's see if we can make the gauge to see it. The demon. Nope, it looks like we need a will crystal to make it. Okay. Well, what happens is the demon crucible will release the will into the atmosphere, and I believe a demon crystallizer all on its own will eventually crystallize it into, there we go, a cluster. Now, you can break that cluster and you get a piece of will. Let it keep going, and I think for every 50 or so will it drains out of the crucible, it will grow another spike on the cluster. Anyways, this is, again, inefficient and completely manual, but I only need a couple shards of this stuff anyways, so good enough for now. With that demon will, we can make our terrestrial amalgamation plate. Let's see. Click through all the recipes. Got a piece of flawless lapis from sifting, and then we'll make our terra steel into plates. The last thing is that I need one more bucket of unstable mana, and I just used my last bucket. Alas. I'm going to do something sacrilegious and only make a single bucket of this because that's all I need right now. I know future Jimmy will hate me for my laziness because I'm going to need another bucket in like 10 minutes, I'm sure, but one at a time. Apparently you craft this stuff 2 buckets at a time, so future Jimmy gets 1 bucket of it. But anyways, we're now crafting the terrestrial amalgamation plate. There's that. Quest complete. And why did the quest not complete for my fusion core? Let's take a look at that quest line. Oh, shoot. The quest wants me to do all these things in order to, because I need the 4 chaotic injectors from this. All right, I have an idea. I'll deal with that quest issue in a little bit. But for now, let's use our terrestrial amalgamation plate. So you need to set up this thing. You want to put a spark on it and a spark on your mana pools. I actually did expand my mana pool storage from 1 pool up to 7 because I have a feeling I'm going to use up this mana sooner rather than later. Put a spark on, I guess, each. Sparks have 12 block range. This might be a little far. Maybe I'll move it closer. But I took my magnet off because I don't have the Solgania yet. That's the flower that disables it in an area. And throw one of each on. It's remarkably hard to actually throw these on without yoinking one of the things on accident. There we go. Mana flows into it. It does its thing, and resonating gems. Nice. So these are used to gate a lot of recipes. But for now, broken spawner. For now, I'm just going to use them to make the Euclides artifact. But again, this takes all 12 fusion injectors. Well, going down this route to unlock the quest is going to take forever. I need to upgrade my altar to tier 4 to make demonic slates. Then I need to get a ton of runes so I can do the Mark of the Falling Tower to get thorium. And you don't even need to get thorium anymore to get improved Ender Eyes because radon can be made by the chicken much more easily. Wherever the thing is, the radon chicken. The egg can be turned 32 eggs into 50 radon, and the chicken can be gotten without having to do Mark of the Falling Tower because you can get tiny plutonium from centrifuging uranium-238, which you can get from somewhere else. That's what it is. You get thorium as a chance product when pulverizing granite. It's a relatively low chance, but I mean granite's free. And then you can convert the thorium into uranium-238, which you can then centrifuge until you get a single tiny pile to make your radon chicken with. So I think this is just another case of the quest book here is asking us to do things the hard way. So I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to go craft 4 more of these. Unfortunately, that means I have to go raid the moon for 4 more Draconic cores. I ended up scoring 4 Draconic cores in my first dungeon, so it didn't take all that long to make 4 more chaotic fusion injectors. But now they're all made, so let's put them to use. Just, for now, I'm just going to do everything manually here. No automation because we're not going to actually use this system very much. So you put that stuff in there, you put your moon turf in here, and you hit start. And this process will probably take a little while because I'm powering it from, you know, basically 1000 RF a tick from a Spectre coil is all the power this is getting. And yeah, that's not a lot, but it'll be done soon enough. At some point, we'll unlock the Flux Network stuff and be able to use, you know, flux points and flux plugs. But this looks like it takes, yeah, it takes the next tier processor and some other things, platinum. So we're not quite there yet, but these, you know, flux points and flux plugs they have no limit on their energy throughput. Anyways, in probably a couple minutes, this will be done. I can't really meaningfully accelerate it. I guess I can accelerate the Spectre coil. Nope, bad idea. Don't accelerate the Spectre coil. And we're almost there, 99, 100. The crafting step is much faster than the charging step. So when this is done, we get a Euclides Prime artifact, which does complete this quest. That doesn't give us anything useful. What's the next one? Dragonheart. Ooh. Alright, anyways, let's now go to Euclides Prime. So we can, right now I can warp to my space station, and then warp my space station to Euclides Prime. However, I still need my rocket, I believe, to go from in orbit around the planet to onto the surface. So let's fly our rocket back to the space station one more time. Once again, on our space station, to discover the planet, you have to take your data here, put it into these, store them into the buffers. I guess this one is distance, so you put distance data here, composition data here, mass data here, and then you put your artifact into one of these slots, and then you click search for planet, and it does its thing. Accelerate it with your time in a bottle because it takes forever, and normally I think that has a chance at least to discover the planet. So I think then if you take a planet ID chip, so I have a planet ID chip here, put it in this slot, and you search for planet, it'll have a chance to program it to the planet you're trying to go to. I think. I'm pretty sure that's how this works anyways. In any event, now that we are fully fueled and ready to go, we set our target to Euclides Prime and warp, and we will teleport there. So this artifact, I'm pretty sure we technically, like, as the mod pack is written right now, we don't actually 100% need it, but let's see what happens when we get there. So you go through this reasonably cool animation of flying through space. Nothing's actually changing. The only thing that changed is the background, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, like you can still fall off your platform. You're not actually moving anywhere. But whatever, soon enough we'll quote unquote arrive in orbit around Euclides Prime. It took like 5 minutes of floating through space, but we are now in orbit here. Now to go to the surface, I'm going to try jumping off. I think it's a config option whether or not jumping off leads you to the surface. So just so I'm sure, I'm going to make sure I can warp back here if something happens, and let's see what happens if we jump. We even fly down faster. And I guess it doesn't take us to the surface. So yeah, that takes us back to the station. To go to the surface, in fact, this might already be set. Let's put our planet chip in here. We obviously can't go to Terra. So set destination, select Euclides Prime, and go, I guess. I should have brought some fuel with me so I can refuel the rocket on Euclides to launch it back to my station, huh? Oh well, I can. Once I go there, I have a matter receiver on me, so I can place that down and then teleport home to grab fuel. Anyways, I guess I will see you once we land on the planet. It looks like we might be in for a water landing here. My altitude is declining according to my UI, but my map says I'm still at Y level 1000. So I might have to relog. But yeah, it seems to, according to the map, it looks like I'm going to land in the water. Let me relog. No, I guess we didn't land in water. That's not water. The rocket definitely landed somewhere, and I'm like stuck in it. My rocket's invisible. It's up here somewhere, right? Not quite sure what's happening. I relogged again, and apparently my rocket has decided that this is where it wanted to land. I don't know why. Whatever. I'll probably have to disassemble it to bring it home. I guess that's probably the easiest way to get it back. But for now, let's set our teleporter here so that we can teleport back and forth as needed. Would you look at that? There's even animals here. I suppose where there's animals, there's also air? Yep, I don't need my spacesuit or my, oxygen set to breathe. And I suppose this is the vitrolic whatever fluid that spawns here. We can sieve that. Or we can process it some way or another. Let's see. We can use it to make various chickens, but we can electrolyze it for copper and sodium. Meh. I don't think that's all that important. This tree here, however, I think is a big deal. This wood is the exact type of wood that we need to make hell shelves, which can give us access to level 120 or up to level 150 enchanting. So let's chop the tree. This one tree should give us plenty of wood. This tree is huge. Wow, it even broke my axe. So I guess I'll take however much wood I get from here. This planet seems to also have increased gravity relative to like the overworld. It's easier to take fall damage and you sink faster when you fall. Anyways, my main reason for coming here was to look for ores, specifically rutile ore. So it spawns at low Y levels, so that one looks like the lowest Y level of the group. Let's go dig to it and see what ore it happens to be. This first vein is a bust. All these ores we can get in the overworld. So I guess I'll just toss everything aside and keep looking. I think there is another vein pretty close by. Oh boy, that makes it impossible to see. Yeah, over there. Another bust. Galena, aluminum, sphelerite, blue topaz. I don't think there's anything particularly exciting here either. Here's an interesting one. Diamonds and chromite with some quartzite. What exactly is chromite? Is this chrome? Because I could use a good way to use chrome. Iron, chrome, and oxygen. Alright, well, I guess that's fine. I mean, I'll mine it because it's a diamond vein. So I've mined a little bit here, and it looks like in addition to all the standard overworld ore veins, there's a few that are unique to this planet. Like this Venetium ore. It only spawns in these pillars, I guess, but I don't know. It produces this stuff, which, at least as far as I can tell, I haven't seen in the overworld. I'm not quite sure what it's for. I guess the mana chicken, among other things. Anyways, I'm gonna grab a little bit of it. End rod. Well, that's an end rod recipe, jeez. Wait, why would you do this to make end rods when you can do this to make end rods? Is there something I'm not seeing here? There's also dungeons here, so I guess let's go loot it. I'm not gonna, I'm gonna do my usual thing where I just use a storage scanner to steal everything inside without actually clearing it. But let's see what we get. I cleared it out, and we got a couple more machine blueprints. Let's see what these do, and some uranium ingots, which I guess might be useful. Mirion, I don't know, nothing terribly eye-catching besides that. Cryo-stabilized flux. I mean, I guess these are good. Infinite capacitance, infinite throughput, but I think these are also craftable. Yeah. And I guess they're beyond my ability to craft for now. So it looks like the photonuclear fission chamber just produces steam extremely quickly from uranium hexafluoride, and the diesel generator is just a diesel generator. It burns diesel fuel for energy. I guess it can also burn quadratic fuel. However, this is made. Oh, I guess that's the next step in enriching infused nitrodiesel. And that there looks a lot like a dragon to me. So, naturally we have to kill it, right? Can't imagine he's all that difficult. He's already running away. And look at that. This is his horde. We get to loot it. Oh, well, that was easy. Alright, dragon. What you got for me? How do I loot it? I remember there's like a thing you have to do with these bodies to loot them, right? Do you just right click them? Ah, there we go. You right click them to harvest their scales. And bones. And a heart. And whatever else there is. Alright, but now we've killed a dragon. Haha! And I'll just loot whatever is here. Lots of gold. Anyways, that's all the time we have for today, so come back tomorrow and we'll see what's in this dungeon. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.